question 4. So question 4, this is statistics. So we're given a table. They say show the distribution of marks scored by 60 students in an examination. Okay, so we have mark 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and so on. So we are not actually given the mark, but we're given so this is not actually X. So what you're given is the class interval. So you have to go ahead and find X. And then to get the mean. Okay. So this is how you can get the mean. So we're going to create a table. So for A, that's just number 4. So you create the table. It's my table. So for this part, we have class interval, or class boundary. So the next we have, just go ahead and calculate the mean of each class. You get X then. So X is like the average is given by the upper limit plus the lower limit. So X is gotten by doing the upper limit plus lower limit all over 2. So for the first one, we have that the upper limit is 10 and the lower limit is 1 over 2, which is equal to 11 over 2. So that should give you 5.5. So X for that is 5.5. At this other point, so it doesn't look like relation. Okay, so you can do the same thing for the other ones also. So this one is going to be 20 plus 11 divided by 2. That is 33 over 2. So you can do that for the remaining. So I'm just quickly going to fill those in. Okay. Apply the same thing for the rest to get X. So the next one, you have 20 plus 11, which will give you 31, and that should be 15.5. So I'm just going to fill the rest in. So you just follow the same procedure we did for the first and the second one. Okay, so I've gotten the rest. So now, what is fx for? Okay, fx just simply f times x. But why are we doing that? Now we're doing that because for the first class, we know that 8 students have, let's just say they have a mark of 5.5. That means I have 5.5 into 8 places. That's the average, but I'm just taking it as each of them got 5.5. So that's like saying 5.5 plus 5.5 plus 5.5, like into 8 places. So saving yourself the stress of doing that, because to get the mean, you have to add all your mark divided by their frequency. So to save yourself from doing that, you just simply do 8 times 5, because 5 plus 5 into 8 places is the same thing as 8 times 5. So 8 times 5.5 is going to give you. So that's how the fx came about. So 8 times 5.5, so you're going to get 44. So you can do the same thing for the rest and get your answers for the rest. Okay, so I've done that. So you can see our values for each of them, fx for each of them. Now, to get the mean, okay, now, so the total we just need 2 totals actually. We need total for frequency and total for fx. So total for frequency is going to give us 60, because we know we have 60 students in total. So the frequency is representing the number of students. Okay, so why are we looking for the total of these two? Because we know that the mean the mean is gotten from the summation of fx over the summation of f, which is the frequency. So we need summation of fx and the summation of f. So summation of fx is 1730. Okay, so I just got that by adding these numbers together. So 1730. Summation for frequency, like I said, is going to be 60. So you can check that also to give you 60. So that means the mean is equal to 1730 over 60. 1730 over 60, which is going to give us 28, approximately 28.83. This is what we actually have. That means it's repeated 8383. So we're just going to take 28.83. Okay. So this is our mean. So that's A. So A, you've gotten the mean. Mean is equal to this. So you have to write the formula for mean. Then go ahead and solve for it. Don't just go and do 1730 over 60. You will lose mark. So you have to write the formula for your mean. So this is the mean. So that's for the A part. Then the B part asks us to calculate the variance. It asks to find the variance. The variance just shows how spaced out the data is, given data is. So the variance is given by summation f times x minus x power squared by the summation of the frequency. So this part is representing the deviation, standard deviation. So the standard deviation squared over the summation of the frequency. So that's how to get the variance. So first thing we have to do, we have to find the standard deviation and square it, so we'll get positive values. Okay, so we have to create another table for that. Okay, so I've created a table for that. So you can see in the table we have the mark for each class, for each student. We have the frequency, we have the mean, x bar, x bar. So x bar is the same for all of them, it's just the mean. Then we have a column for x minus x bar, x minus x bar squared, and then f times x minus x bar. Okay, so to get this, for the first one, I'm going to do 5.5 minus, so I have 5.5 minus 28.83, which will give me minus 23.3. Then for the next one, I'm going to have 15.5 minus 28.83, which will give me minus 13. Now what I would just like to do in my calculator to be faster is just to put the 28.83 first before the number, the next number. So I basically know that if I'm subtracting 28.83 from 5.5, it's going to be a negative number since 28.3 is bigger. But what I'm doing, I'm putting 28.83 first so that I don't have to clean that out of my calculator. I just have to clean the last number, then put in the new one I want to calculate, and just put negative sign if it's smaller till I get to 25. 25 is bigger than, so till I get to 35 rather. 35 is bigger than 28. So now I'm going to have a positive number. So to make your calculation faster, especially if this is for jam, because you don't have much time. So you can do the same for the rest and get your answer. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so these are my values for that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do the square of it to have a positive number for each of them. So I want to get a positive value. I'm going to square this, square this, square this, square this. So you note that when you're squaring a negative number, you're going to end up with a positive value. So when you square a negative number, you have a positive value. So the square of that is 544 point, let's say 29. It's approximate to two decimal places. So you're going to do the square of the other numbers and write here. Okay, so I've gotten my values for each of them. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the frequency times this for each value. So I'm going to do 8 times this, 10 times this, 8 times this, 22 times this, 12 times this to get this other code. This is my value. So I've gotten my value for that. So you can just substitute. So we've gotten summation of this and summation of this. So we can just substitute into that. So we have our variance is equal to, so summation of that we have 10,533.4 divided by 60, which is the summation of the frequency representing the number of students. Okay, so if you do that, okay, so what's I got, that is 175.556666, but the question said we should leave our answer in two decimal places. So this is approximately 175.56 to two decimal places. So this is the variance. So we are done with that particular question. So move to the next.